Are you sitting comfortably? We're going to begin our journey of silence with this book by Erling Kagge, Kagge, called Silence in the Age of Noise. So just stop what you're doing, stop scrolling, pause just for 5 minutes or so. So, what we're going to do, we're going to read a chapter every day of this book, and then we're going to just sit in silence now to begin with, because I know it can be difficult for people. We're just going to do like 20-30 seconds at the end of this very short chapter, and we'll build up basically if you want to join me in this journey. So all you have to do is get comfortable, take a deep breath, maybe close your eyes and listen. Whenever I am unable to walk, climb, or sail away from the world, I have learned to shut it out. Learning this took time. Only when I understood that I had a primal need for silence was I able to begin my search for it. And there, deep beneath a cacophony of traffic noise and thoughts, music and machinery, iPhones and snowplows, it lay in wait for me. Silence. Not long ago, I tried convincing my 3 daughters that the world's secrets are hidden inside silence. We were sitting around the kitchen table eating Sunday dinner. Nowadays, it's a rare occurrence for us to eat a meal together. So much is going on all the other days of the week. Sunday dinners have become the one time when we all remain seated and talk face to face. The girls looked at me skeptically. Surely silence is nothing. Even before I was able to explain the way in which silence can be a friend and a luxury more valuable than any of the Louis Vuitton bags they so covet, their minds had been made up. Silence is fine to have on hand when you're feeling sad. Beyond that, it is useless. Sitting there at the dinner table, I suddenly remembered their curiosity as children, how they would wonder about what might be hiding behind a door. Their amazement as they stared at a light switch and asked me to open the light. Questions and answers, questions and answers. Wonder is the very engine of life. But my children are 13, 16, and 19 years old and wonder less and less. If they still wonder at anything, they quickly pull out their smartphones to find the answer. They are still curious, but their faces are not as childish, more adult, and their heads are now filled with more ambition than questions. None of them had any interest in discussing the subject of silence, so in order to invoke it, I told them about 2 friends of mine who had decided to climb Mount Everest. Early one morning, they left base camp to climb the southwest wall of the mountain. It was going well, both reached the summit. But then came the storm. They soon realised that they would not make it down alive. The first got hold of his pregnant wife via satellite phone. Together they decided on the name of the child that she was carrying. Then he quietly passed away just below the summit. My other friend was not able to make contact with anyone before he died. No one knows exactly what happened on the mountain in those hours. Thanks to the dry, cool climate 8,000 metres above sea level, they have both been freeze-dried and they lie there in silence, looking no different, more or less, to the way they were the last time I saw them 22 years ago. For once, there was silence around the table. One of our mobile phones pinged with an incoming message, but none of us thought to check our phones just then. Instead, we filled the silence with ourselves. Not long afterwards, I was invited to give a lecture at St Andrews University in Scotland. I was to choose the subject myself. I tended to talk about extreme journeys to the ends of the earth, but this time my thoughts turned homewards to that Sunday supper with my family. So I settled on the topic of silence. I prepared myself well, but was, as I often am, nervous beforehand. What if scattered thoughts about silence belonged only in the realm of Sunday dinners and not in student forums? It was not that I expected to be booed for the 18 minutes of my lecture, but I wanted the students to be interested in the subject I held so close to my heart. I began the lecture with a minute of silence. You could have heard a pin drop. It was stock still. For the next 17 minutes, I spoke about the silence around us, but I also talked about something that is even more important to me, the silence within us. The students remained quiet, listening. It seemed as though they had been missing silence. That same evening, I went out to a pub with a few of them. Inside the drafty entrance, each of us with a pint of beer. It was all more or less exactly the same as my student days at Cambridge. Kind, curious people, a humming atmosphere, interesting conversations. What is silence? Where is it? Why is it more important now than ever? Were three questions that they wanted answered. That evening meant a lot to me, and not only for the good company. Thanks to the students, I realised how little I understood. Back home, I couldn't stop thinking about those three questions. They became an obsession. What is silence? Where is it? And why is it more important now than ever? Every evening I'd sit puzzling over them. I began writing, thinking and reading, more for myself than for anyone else. By the end of the search, I'd come up with 33 attempts at answering them. That's the first chapter. We're going to just sit for 30 seconds or so now, if you can. Don't have to do anything. Closed eyes or open. Well done if you made it. It might have felt a long time. It was 30 seconds. If it felt difficult or uncomfortable, that's okay. Learn to sit with that uncomfortable feeling. It won't harm you. Just build, practice, do a little bit every day. I'll be back tomorrow with chapter 2. If you want to join this journey, comment, give me a little heart or a thumbs up, or just comment #silence challenge. I'll see you tomorrow. Take good care. Bye for now.